Lovely to be here tonight. I can lie, can't I? Lovely to be here, but I must say, folks, I nearly didn't make it here tonight. Because only last night, I had a near-death experience. That's the sympathy I'm looking for. Yeah, I got my boob trapped in the ironing board when I was discovering it. Like a bloody panini by the time. Scary times for a woman my age. Especially at the beginning of the year when you youngsters are all going on about dry January. Do you write my materials, sir? I'm going to drag you up here and make you dry myself. Yeah, because to a woman going through the menopause, that has a whole new, different meaning altogether. It's followed by dry February, March, April, everything in the world right now is batshit crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
In my day, men were men, women were women. You came home early from work, you found your husband in bed with your next door neighbor, Keith, dressed as a milkmaid. Just kept quiet about it. Let's just say that wasn't an udder in his hand. And I'm not quite sure that was milk round his mouth either. Ah, come on. I only do this shit because I'm starved of attention. Oh, you've never had to climb up a scaffolding, have you, love? Just to get some builders to notice you. Took me 6 weeks to finish that roof. Last time a bloke winked at me in the street, Henry, he was having a stroke. And I nearly didn't get here on time because I had to stop off and see to my cat. And it's not a pussy joke, so don't get carried away. Oh God, I'm going to have trouble with him. Yeah, so let me just explain. Because my cat is, you're probably thinking I went home to change her litter tray or feed her, but no. Because my cat is a sexual deviant. Because she waits for me every day when I get in from work. She's at the doorstep with her little arse in the air. And I have to spank it. I'm sat on the bloody floor, tapping away at that thing. And no one's tapped mine in a long time. But it got me to thinking, you know, I work in the NHS during the day. I earn sod all. I thought maybe there's a business opportunity. I could branch out into human asses, become a professional spanker. What do you think, sir? You're definitely a client this one. But let me ask you, if you're a professional spanker, do you charge by the area of cheek coverage or the number of whacks? What would you say? Well, he's been very silent there. He's giving it a lot of thought. I'm pervert, definitely. Takes one to know one, Henry. I often look to ways of supplementing my income. A friend of mine in Portsmouth runs a sex chat line. And she's often said to me, Joe, you've got such a lovely, plummy, rich voice. Give it a go. They'd think it was Joanna Lumley on the phone. Whilst, of course, I'm flattered by the comparison, I am not sure Joanna Lumley ever told anyone to go and jerk off in an oven glove. Mary Berry, on the other hand, I do love my job, even though I earn peanuts. But one thing I hate every year they send you on these things called away days. Do you know what that is? You know? Oh Christ, it's a boring day out of the office where they have you doing team building exercises. Like you're building a life raft out of cardboard boxes with Christine from accounts, who quite frankly I'd throw overboard given how urgent, possibly even eat. You only go for the food, don't you? It's free food. But it gets a bit like Squid Games at the end of the day. You're going head to head with her for that last morsel. Quite frankly, I'd taser the bitch to get my hands on that tuna sandwich. And I'm vegetarian. You youngsters take the piss out of my generation for what we looked like in the 80s. And I don't blame you. Because I look ridiculous. I used to backcomb my hair into great big spikes. 8 cans of hairspray later, I'd look more like Sonic the Hedgehog with tits. I'm sure that turns you on, sir. Never again, Henry, never again. But I refuse to take any shit from the generation that made Crocs a fashion item. I'd rather walk down the road naked with I Love Jacob Rees-Mogg tattooed on my arse than wear those things. With those little holes on the front, you look like you're wearing a couple of colanders on your feet. You literally could be straining the cabbage as you're walking down the road. And that's not a euphemism, by the way. But we've had our revenge on you young men, though, recently. I'm not sure I can see any in the room. Because we gave you the mullet, didn't we? Because you think you look really cool with that hairdo. But can I just say, in my day, that was the signature haircut of sex offenders. No one cool ever had a mullet. It's considered the daddy of shit hairdos, second only to the Boris Johnson and the Friar Tuck. So you're welcome. And while we're on the subject, what's with this bloody socks and sandals thing, or sliders you call them? You know, you young men with your little beards, your socks and sandals. You know who perfected that look in my day? Rolf Harris. Because if there was one thing my generation did do better than you lot, it's paedophiles. And you can't take that away from us. I long for the days when online shopping was just the local pervert stealing my mum's knickers off the washing line. And OnlyFans was the name of the shop at the end of my street which sold air conditioning units. And the only TikTok sensation I ever had was when I accidentally sat on my alarm clock and it went off. I was right on time though that day, I can tell you. We didn't have all these sex toys. Love Honey was just what Winnie the Pooh fucking did. You've seen some of those contraptions, I know you have. Do you know, I wouldn't know whether to put half of them down below or make a bloody smoothie with them. We didn't have foreplay, no. It was lights off, knickers down, hello Mr. Sausage. You were just bloody grateful, I can tell you. Did try a bit of role play with him though once or twice. Didn't go too well though, folks. I suggested doctors and nurses. He took out my appendix. Now I'm left in a world I don't belong. Even a menu is a mind fuck for me, sir. In my day, a slider was what you did across the toilet floor of your local nightclub on a Saturday night. And dirty fries you got when the guy in the chip shop had been picking his nose. Because you youngsters like to eat out a lot, don't you? Oh, you eat out all the time. Oh, you've taken over every bar and restaurant. You don't want us over 50s in there stinking out the place. Instagramming your smashed avocado. Well, next time I catch one of you, I'm gonna drape myself casually behind you in the background with 2 poached eggs on my tits. Hashtag, how's that for a full English? My body though is falling apart as I've got older. I've become incredibly windy. I fart at the drop of a hat. Literally, don't take yours off, sir. It could be like the last days of Pompeii in here. And then, do you know, they're really long and whiny sounding. My partner says they sound like an old lady crying. I was in John Lewis the other day using the facilities and let rip. Someone put the number for the Samaritans under the door. I wrote that bit after I got a train home from a gig not long ago. And I used the toilet and forgot to lock the door, and a guy walked in on me, and this is actually a true story. Because if that's not bad enough, as I walked past him afterwards, he muttered under his breath, "There's a sight I won't forget in a hurry." There's a sight I won't forget in a hurry is the sort of thing you say when you see the Mona Lisa. Not this work of art. But saying that, we ladies should be proud of our vaginas. Let's hear it for them, yeah? Because they're the portal by which most of us come into the world. I'm not sure about him, I'm not quite sure where he came. But I want you ladies in the audience to do something for me tonight. When you get home, I want you to take out a little mirror, and I want you to have a good hard look at it. And I want you to say hello to it. And if it says hello back, perhaps you need to up your medication. Or go on Britain's Got Talent, I'm not quite sure. Because I'm not growing old gracefully. Fuck that shit. In my 80s, you're not going to find me in a care home. You're going to find me in Ibiza. Yes. Up on a podium, wearing nothing but a thong. Off my tits on cat. I have arse cheeks like 2 drop scones on a griddle by then. But I won't care, as I'm sipping my neat vodka from my colostomy bag. Less of a slap job by then, more of a prolapsed wound. Can I leave you on prolapsed wound? Fuck, I'm going to. You've been a lovely audience.
So Joe Frank, everyone. Had a good time, guys? Had a good time?